Anki, it all started unraveling from Sock's agency pulling out of Anki. They're sending out this notice saying they're terminated their sponsorship agreement with Anki Expo and they are no longer affiliated with the event. Everybody's like, what is going on? I require context. Context police here. We're doing fine and doing okay. Adfree says, don't fret, Socks are a-okay. Haven't lost a matching pair. So Flork pulled out. Pulled out there. And then what happens? Oshi Bar, another one of their sponsors, also pulls out. They've decided to withdraw from Anki Expo along with all talents brought in through their organization. Oshi Bar staff will not be attending Anki in any official capacity. Then there's rumors that are starting. Some Discord chats are getting leaked. So if anyone's curious on what's happening with Anki Expo, I'm pretty sure it's their association with Vcat, who uses AI openly and instructs others how to use it for their services. Understandably, this doesn't sit well with a lot of their partners and guests. So this is the co-founder called Hex, and he says, "He is still happening and the staff is still working very hard. I will be fully transparent with the community. Oshibar left citing concerns of one of our partners using AI. I reached out directly to that partner and they gave a long explanation on how that isn't so, but I found this sentence informative and I will directly quote it. Like any company, we do concepting and mood boards, but the final production are the work of many talented artists." Sorry, but that sentence implies that they use AI for conception and mood boards. Am I misunderstanding that they are saying that the company does use AI for their creative process? And then Emma responds, "The post also pointed out to the CEO participating in an event that uses AI. This implies they generate ideas with AI even if they hired artists to recreate the final products." I was told by a friend that it was Vcat. Went to go look at the CEO's post. If you mean Vcat, they're pretty well known for using it. Yeah, they even have articles publicly instructing people about how to use it for their services. And then they link the article here. By using AI, you can expand your imagination and anyone can easily create images that enhances the world's atmosphere. Problem is in the final product, problem is the use at all. So at this point, people speculated that it was because of AI usages from one of their partner. And then some people were upset about this user called Akuma Miko due to some allegations about her originating from VT Blacklist and others. You mean Miko, I presume? Yes, it gets worse. She has a track history of doxing, revenge porn, racism, transphobia, and co. I wouldn't be surprised if she's the reason Socks pulled out. Doxing. Socks has trans talents. I knew about the rest, but I didn't know she doxed people. I don't like speculating, but it would be plausible why Socks pulled away. And then they link this VT Blacklist. Although this VT Blacklist is like not super credible. They've gotten some things wrong before. Then Hex says this was brought to our attention today. We're looking into it and handling it. And then this person replies, "To date, it's been known for 2 years. Again, what is your vetting process for guests? How can you preach inclusion and allow this person? Is there even a vetting process? Do you have any clarification on what they mean by that? Because this does explicitly sound like them admitting to use AI and they have multiple articles instructing people about AI. We already read that. I'm very curious too. Miko is an incredibly vile individual. There's little evidence of her doxing and revenge prawning a grave victim." Wait, I actually did not know about all of this. Is this true? They stated they didn't know that VCat used AI and was assured they didn't. However, it's pretty open on their website, so make of that what you will. To partner, I was not aware of the AI, was assured there was no AI, and I saw assets being made by hand. And yes, we'll be doing a deep dive to find out. As soon as I have a complete picture of the AI situation, I'll make a full statement. Alright, so they're going back and forth and shit. But then there's just more. That was the very beginning. And then creators started pulling out. Ava Lamp have to decide to withdraw as a virtual guest and will no longer be attending Anki Expo. HR Chan. Oh. If it wasn't painfully obvious, I withdrew from virtual panel and all participation in Anki. There's some people upset about this Akuma Miko announcement. I had someone come up to me personally and tell me about the abuse they endured while dating this VTuber. It's always so odd to see this person. Hopefully they've changed for the better, but it's uncomfortable to see nonetheless. So there's a bunch of backlash on this. Yeah, it is you, HR Chan. It is you in this announcement. And then what happened after chat? After that, I mean, there's more people just upset at Miko. There's more. She also spread false PDF file allegation against someone. And that wound up being a contributing factor in them taking their what? Their own life? And helped her fiance cover up the fact that he essayed someone? Is that is my reaction to reading this right now. Like, for real? I made an entire video on a bunch of the stuff she did if you're interested. Nani? What the nani? Oh yes, put a pin on that, because these are pretty big allegations. These are really big allegations. I'd like to see some evidence. Oh, okay. So Akuma Miko also responded. She said, wasn't asked from my side or anything. My management is helping me. Oh, they have this associated with her. On Key Expo is a small volunteer-run convention. We are doing our absolute best to make an event that is fun and safe for everyone in the community. As soon as it was brought up to our attention, we began acting. On Key is a community-driven event for the community. So if we sometimes miss things, even important things, we rely on the community to point it out and hold us accountable. There's a lot happening behind the scenes you can't see, but we are attempting to be as transparent as possible with all of you, which is why, in light of this information being brought to our attention, we acted. Miko will not be appearing or associated with Anki. And he says, I absolutely can confirm that it's in fact a VCAT for the AI thingy. It looks like the gap between looking into it and the decision was exactly 10 minutes. That is like when YouTube reviews my 2 hours videos and they're like, yeah, we've reviewed the video and your demonetization will stay. Yeah, I've seen that she was beefing with somebody on the TL. Like, I kept seeing her go back and forth. But when the beef takes too much amplitude, people get just confused and they don't know where to start looking. So most people just don't end up bothering looking into it. So I actually have never bothered looking into it. And she says, interesting. And then Anki Expo, sorry. I'm like a small VTuber organization, number 1234. Anki, they made an announcement in their Discord. Many things have come to my attention, all valid. I wanted to make an announcement. Please bear with us during this time. There are some allegations with Anki and those affiliated that the staff and management need to research and look into. Please understand that Anki is a very small and new convention and we're all doing this for the first time. While this does not make us immune to mistakes at all, we're willing to absolutely take responsibility for any shortcomings. We are asking for some grace for us to correct any mistakes that we have made. There is new management within Anki, so things will be changing. All talent sponsor and anyone affiliate will be researched into. We're going to do a sweep and look at what is happening, but we need time. With that being said, you know, everybody working with us is just helping us. Please don't harass staff, yada yada. Mizutsuki then tweets, I was going to be in attendance as part of the Anki Expo's Artist Alley. We will no longer be attending. Anki has claimed to be against AI and backtracked on the stance with its association with VKit, a pro-gen AI operation. Will support no such thing. Now, AM Candlery also was scheduled to appear as a sponsor for Anki Expo 2026. As of seeing all the news and evidence hit Twitter, that's brought up a great concern. I'll no longer be attending Anki in any capacity. And then Socks cleared, provided more information. Socks agency. Yeah, everybody is jumping ship. If that con is just, it's donezo at this point. It's completely donezo. And at that point in the timeline, we don't even know why people are jumping shit. So, Socks Agency says, to clear speculation, we approached Anki a month ago with items that need to be addressed to ensure a safe and functional convention. We gave them ample time to show us that they are prepared to host an event with proper security, labor, and event management, and we were not confident they would be able to secure these key measures before it was critically necessary with what was provided. Our primary concern is always safety when sponsoring or participating in an event. To anyone deciding to go to Anki, we hope you have fun and have a safe time, however, will not be attending, as these answers did not measure to our standards. So they finally admit that it wasn't a question of AI or like of a guest that they found problematic. It was really a question of security, and apparently Anki was not prepared to have like a decent amount of security for the amount of people that were supposedly attending the expo. We have been informed Anki said that they have security. We want to be transparent. This is the full and complete answer Anki gave us regarding security. Has a security firm been contracted and how many stations security personnel will be at con? And then they answered, multiple security firms have been contacted. We are still comparing prices between quotes provided. Currently, we're looking to have 10 to 15 security guards present. We will also be at the local authorities to have a presence at the convention if possible. We'll also be in contact with the local authorities. So, does anybody in chat knows about cons a little bit? I heard that they were expecting maybe 3,000 attendants. So, how much security would you like require to a convention that way? For example, people just went to FaceCon. How much security was there? And like, is 10, 15 security enough for 3,000 people? That doesn't sound like enough at all. You need more glowies than 10, 15. Is glowies like cops? That is plenty for 15 guards. Like plenty, like there's too many people for 15 guards. There was one security guard there. You need way more than that. 3,000 attendants for first time convention that no one has ever heard of? No way. I mean, I'm also skeptical about that number. Even freaking concerts have more security than this. Probably one guard for 100 people. Honest estimate, maybe there was like 10 at FaceCon? Well, shit. Is the VTubing community too harsh? But anyway, then there was more drama in the Discord server. Anime North has at least 300 security personnel. How much people attend Anime North? Let's see. So Flork from SVA ends up joining the conversation in the Discord. He says, hello everyone. And wait, first let's read what led up to Flork joining. So Hex says, canceling the con is not in the plans. I still believe in the mission. We've been in contact with multiple firms. The 1050 number was what the venue offered. We know that is not enough. We were unable to find one that I found sufficient to meet SVA's deadline. I knew that risk, but I was not about to make a quick call to save a sponsorship. Don't get me wrong, I wish I could have saved it. I have nothing but respect for SVA and their talents, but I had specific needs on size, quality, and affordability. Our convention has grown too fast. Our egos were inflated by the support we had been receiving from the community. I saw this a while ago and made the decision to downsize so we could hold up the promise we're making. Can we get these answered in an announcement so they don't get lost? He says, yes, sorry, I'm going to post these in more detail. He's just like, he's rapid fire answering to everybody in Discord. Then Pegasus Witch says, okay, so this is the first time you even mentioned downsizing. How are you going to do that now, 5 months before the convention? Are guests losing their meet and greet spots, their panels? Are you going to be able to accommodate the current number of vendors and artists in your artist alley? Then that's HR Chan. Hi. She says, did they offer any aid in helping you find one that did meet their standards? Then Hex says they did not, it was up to us. Then HR Chan pushes back. She's like, are you sure? Ellie Knights here says, that seems like a leading question, TBH. I think that was pretty sufficient answer. What's a leading question? Like a bait question? Is that what it means? Yeah, like bait. It's giving the answer in the question. Oh, that's what it means? A leading question presumes an answer? Jen pushes back again. She's like, is this the answer you want to stick with, Hex? I think it's safe to say that the first answer is the actual answer. Hex says, I mean, I was not in every single convo, but to my knowledge, they did not. I will gladly retract my statement if otherwise. Then HR Chen says, deal. And Tori here says, didn't you guys travel to multiple other conventions to advertise? Is that true? So money was spent on travel, hotel, food, tabling fees to advertise without having a solid security contract in place for the con, and now you're needing to shop around for security you can't afford? It 100% makes sense to compare pricing, but it really sounds, from what you're saying, that part of the problem is that the funds weren't there to hire security. And then Flork comes in. Hello, everyone. They thought me asking them if Flork offered help, that no was automatically the answer. Oh, I see. So, what happened next? Then Flork comes in. We get to this set of screenshots. Okay. Flork comes in. He says, hello, everyone. Holy Flork, my goat. I hate to sound like I'm defending them, but generally that's done with personal funds, so that's not relevant to the con, answering to the travel spending. So you walk into a dumpster fire. He knows. So apparently he was told that they were lying. Flork says, at this time I would like to remind Anki, although this is not my convention, I have no authority to please review your PR, and please refine your answers before answering in public for the safety of not only Anki staff, but all sponsors involved who try to pull away with minimal drama. So he's basically telling them, be careful what you answer next. Then Flork says, they did not clarify on this one point. To be transparent, I attempted to help back in April. And okay, this screenshot is like tiny, but I think I have a bigger one here. There you go. Basically, screenshots a previous conversation with one of the OnKey staff where he's like, do you have a dedicated security person for like organizing con security? Because I have a trustworthy person if you don't. And then this staff member called Pinbun says, not yet, but we're working on it. We already have enough outside sources to wrangle, so I think we're good for now. And then Hex says, then fair enough, I stand corrected. HR Chan smug. Hex, at this time, I urge you to stop answering questions. For your event's sake, please. This person says, I have no horse in this, Rima mentioned, but I know for a fact that Flork puts the safety, comfort, and well-being of his talents in first place. I've witnessed it many times how he would make every effort to succeed in this, so yeah. Basically, they weren't meeting Flork's agency's like security requirements to bring his talents there. HR Chan doesn't miss though. And then Oshi Flavor also stepped away on behalf of Oshi Flavors. We will be stepping away from the vendor market. We wish the best for Anki Expo. And then, so who is this? San. Is this a vendor or a creator? Seems like a creator. Good morning. I wanted to put something here in regards to Anki. If you guys haven't seen the tweets, etc., there are some security and funding concerns. Funding concerns? Interesting. In regards to this convention first year, with this I'm trying to see if they amend all of these or if it will simply be a no-go for me. If you've already gotten tickets in order to just see me, I want to apologize. My meeting had been very promising, but I don't think it's a good idea at this time for anyone to purchase tickets in regards to me specifically until more information comes forward. She's a VTuber. It's Sanshin. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. So this is Sanshin, a VTuber, according to chat. I love you guys and want to see you, but I also want our community and myself safe at these conventions. TLDR, don't buy Anki tickets right now if you haven't already. Safety concerns have been raised by Sox Agency and other sponsors pulled out. I'll let you know if I'm still going as soon as I'm able. Yeah, well played, HR Chan, for real. Notice about my participating in Anki Expo, so Cozy Shu, also pulling out due to concern over safety and professionalism, decided to withdraw as a guest from Anki. Wish them the best. Oshi Flavor also officially departing with the statement. Bro, this con gonna have no one. True. People digged out this tweet from Luminara when Luminara was still like not totally a dumpster fire. Luminara is an official partner of Anki Expo. We should have known. We should have known. The signs were there. And ooh, this person doesn't have an NDA, so they're about to release the Anki files. I am under 0 NDA. I'll be posting my experience in a thread here for working with Anki. Originally, I was reached out via email after I made a post here looking for a small business sponsor to sponsor merch for the con. In exchange for a free table to vend during the con, I can no longer find a post here on Twitter, but if you have screenshots, please send them. I was invited to their server to begin discussion and was then told I would have to pay to sponsor. So this was their email. We are reaching out to invite you to collab with us as a valued sponsor. I'd like to discuss how we can work together to make this convention a success. I just wanted to update you on our estimated attendee amount. We're currently prepping for between 500 to 1,000. So they're expecting like 500 to 1,000 people at this point. Oh my god, someone told me earlier the 10 security guards Anki wants will only be enough security to escort Kamina off of the premises. But HR Chan, at the cons that you went to, how many securities did they have? Alright, so Lunar and I were actually discussing this recently with logistics. I think one thing that could be fun for the convention to do is maybe host some charity raffles. Could also do goodie bags. I could provide small lotion sample for the VIP badge holders, but unfortunately 500 plus definitely won't be feasible for me financially to provide free items, so fair enough. Okay, they're discussing freebies. Instead of providing merch items and bags, it would be too costly for me to make them. Newsflash, it ain't Lamau. My partner, manager, and I at the time had discussed thoroughly in DMs that several red flags were popping up and ultimately was going to pull out. I'll say looking at things, I'm not sure it would be comfortable tabling with the new information provided. Originally, we had discussed having a free table and badge given in exchange for giving freebie sample products in some of the bags. Looking over things now, it looks like I'm no longer being provided that. And I'm not able to fund something like this as a small business. Unfortunately, I'll have to decline moving forward. I mean, yeah, they can't give freebies and also pay. Most cons I go to usually have 30 plus. The rule of thumb for cons is 1 security guard for every 100 guests. Could you double check on this? I don't want to assume yes or no on the free stuff since I'm simply a crazy secretary. So the CEO says a table is provided apologies that would be in exchange for help with the goodies bag. However, considering the high attendee count we're expecting, I know that isn't financially feasible for folks. We can still offer you the table for working with us. Apologies for the confusion. So TLDR has free tables and badges. We're just doing our planning for layout and need to confirm table count. Okay, so they went back on that. The lack of communication in this was alarming to me, especially due to how much I were asking for a sponsorship slot comparatively. I was then assured my table would still be free, but the red flags were still in my mind. Told them I needed more time to think. Oshi Bubbles was also strung along with the same promise. I was given and had declined before I had. I believe Oshi Bubbles will be making their own post to give more insight from their end, but I was given permission to include these for more context. By the way, just an FYI with the Anki folks, they gaslit me and I'm pissed. Oh, what do you mean? They offered me a free table at the con and asked me if I'd be willing to do a simple or include something in their goodies bag they want to give to everyone. I said it's not feasible, since making even sample-sized product would cost me many hundreds of dollars to make with zero return investment before minimal advertising from it, just being included in their bag. They twisted their own wording, saying that they only offered me a free table if I included something, which isn't the case because it was never once mentioned anywhere in our text conversation, via Twitter or in the server. That included something in their goodie bag would be my way to get a free table. Hi, thanks for getting back to us. We would like to offer you a free basic table assistance in setting up. As basic table would be a standard layout without any bells and whistles, so it would be up to you to deck it out. We would also like to extend invitation to your talents. If you would like to do in-person meet and greets at your table, we could provide you with a screen. Yeah, there's no mention of a goodie bag there. Being led along for almost a year with this opportunity has got into opportunities for me to vent at other cons, as I didn't apply for other cons aside from Offguide to prep merch in time. I've lost time, money, sleep, and so many opportunities. At the end of the day, I feel led on by so many empty promises, opportunities I could have had elsewhere, and being almost scammed. Seeing everything else come out just has been disappointing, to say the least. Stupid fucking mistakes. Alright, so Cannellery, that's settled. This other person will no longer be attending. Anka is a singer, guest, and panelist. Akuma Miko made a statement. I've seen posts online stating sponsors have been pulling from Anki Expo based on my attendance. This is not the case. As other reason, I've been cited by former partners, and said reasons have been confirmed by management. I mean, that's true. And will not be sharing a screenshot because it was a conversation between management and one of the parties who left. My team and I have been in talks regarding my continued involvement with Anki as a guest due to current events and other concerns raised by my management team. Given the developing situation, I'll no longer be attending as guest. I don't feel welcome anymore, and I don't feel secure about the future in this con. Locked replies. This is also from their Discord. I woke up to this whole AI situation. The con has a very clear stance on Gen AI. We don't condone it, but I want to speak personally because while my online footprint is minimal, I've had the pleasure of interacting with some dope people, and I'm a deal with shit head-on person. I personally created a vast majority of graphics related to Anki, minus the mascot key and illustrations related to them. There's zero Gen AI used in any of the content I've made. I've worked professionally as a motion graphic artist now for roughly a decade, and I'm staunchly against it. If anyone has any concerns that anything I've created was made with AI, feel free to reach out to me about it. He's the director of visual design. Oh, and Pinbun is the CEO, so the CEO shows up here. That is true. Hex was like, it's handled, we're kicking her out, and then Akuma's like, no, I'm the one that's leaving. Which one happened first? I have no idea. Back to the director of visual design. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't understand everything that happened regarding the AI stuff. I just woke up to messages thinking that we or me was using AI. And then CEO is like, hold up on that. We're going to put a statement and announcement in our socials to clarify everything, and I'd like your statement included in it as well. Anki reached out to me last year to be part of their con. They offered a free table and asked if I would like to make them sample products for their hygiene bags. I accepted the free table and advised I need to think on the free samples, since making product takes a lot of time and money, especially at the scale they'd want. After some number crunching and thinking, I decided to not contribute to their hygiene bags. What the fuck is a hygiene bag? It's like a pad for your like a bag for your like woman's pads. It would be too extreme for a single person operation, especially at my store size and capacity. Then they backtracked and told me the free table was only if I contributed to their hygiene bags, which wasn't how it was originally worded in their invitation message to me. I'm a very small one-man business. Opportunities like this are far and few in between, so I was a little disheartened to have it pulled away because I opted not to spend cost, time, and labor on their hygiene bag. Why are they so like they really want to push these little goodies bag? No one gives a shit about the goodies bags. I don't think cons do that. Another argument is that they're also making it is that Pin's involvement with VCAT has nothing to do with Anki. However, Anki reposted the Pin and VCAT stuff. Oh, maybe it's a deodorant, a package with hygiene items. Well, okay, distributing deodorant at a con, it doesn't seem like a terrible idea after all. Maybe that's why they really are stinklers on the goodies bags. They're like, no, we need these. This is a must. Do you know how much the con will stink if we don't have the hygiene bag? Vila, another sponsor, they've withdrawn its partnership with Anki Expo and will no longer be providing official merch for the event. Will not be exhibiting with a booth or attending Anki Expo. Wishing Anki and team the best. And then last tweet, Akuma Miko also adding, this is Akuma Miko's management team. We are actively monitoring the Anki situation and would like to reiterate that the fallout regarding the Expo losing its partner was not correlated to Miko's position as a guest. We are expecting a statement from Anki Expo clarifying such sometime in the future. Defamatory statement regarding Miko's involvement with Anki and further harassment of Miko is being documented for legal to look into. Miko has requested for those who frequently contact her through Twitter to join her Discord instead for further contact, and her mod team will be happy to help with comms. Further inquiries regarding Miko's status with Anki may be directed toward us as her management team. Thank you, Mikumfis, for your continued support of Miko. Interesting. Yeah, it's true. You can lead an attendee to deodorant, but you cannot make them wear it. FaceCon was packed and didn't stink? That's good. The FaceConners showered. Nice. I'm so proud of them. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.